Well, hello everybody, and I am the president of the Toastmaster session today. Today is day 5 out of 6 sessions, so we're almost coming to the end of all these just wonderful, how we've improved so much through each session. I think all of us have grown in a lot of ways through public speaking, and so today we have 2 people who are um, going to speak using their prepared speeches. And so we look forward to that. We welcome everyone in their roles. Also, our honored guest, Ludlow Sensei, is here again. Thank you very much. And, and I would like to begin by introducing the Toastmaster of today, which is Mizuki.
Thank you, President Margaret. Hello, everyone. I'm Mizuki. Today, I will be Toastmaster for the meeting. And I hope that everyone don't feel pressure and can spend enjoy and meaningful time. And first, I would like to introduce the functionaries. General Evaluator Udoro Sensei, could you explain your role, please?
Yes, as a general evaluator, my job is to just listen, watch for the entire meeting, just to see how things are going. Today I'll be looking at the role players, takers, the Toastmaster of the day, the evaluators, timers, and just comment at the end about their performance.
Thank you very much.
Take it back to you.
Next, timer Meguri, could you explain your role, please?
Thank you, Toastmaster. I am Meguri, and I am a timer for today's speech. And I will be measuring the time for every speech today. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now it is time for prepared speech. And timer Meguri, could you explain your role?
Okay, for the prepared speech, the qualified time is 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I will raise this green card. And at 6 minutes, I will raise this yellow card. And at 7 minutes, I will raise this red card. When I raise this red card, you have to finish your speech within 30 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next, I would like to introduce Evaluator for Press Speech, Ayumi.
Thank you, Toastmaster. I'm Ayumi. I'm an evaluator for Hinako. Hinako will perform the speech of the previous quiz competition. I think she was very nervous at that time, but this time I hope she can relax and enjoy speech. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Ayumi. Okay, next, I would like to introduce today's first speaker, Hinako. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. May I start? Hello everyone, my name is Hinako Fujimura. I'm a second year student at Otema University. I'm in the Department of International Relations. Let's talk about Japanese politics. If you are asked this question, what would you say about it? When I heard this statement, my face went blank. I didn't know what to say. I became totally silent at that moment. I realized how embarrassing it was not to know anything about politics. Firstly, let me share my experience during this summer vacation. I had a chance to discuss any topic about our society and politics with friends online. This meeting was hosted by one person who is a senior student at Otema University. Thanks to him, I was able to gain knowledge about I wasn't familiar with and broaden my views. We had several times to gather and share our thoughts and opinion. There were various topics such as, is it right that the customer is treated like a god in Japan? Why the younger generation doesn't have an interest in voting? The problem of population decrease, and about Article 9. There is no correct answer for each topic, so I was required to research and think about it. When I develop my thoughts, I have one rule that I do not follow other people's opinion, because the most important thing is to formulate what I want to say in my mind and express it in my own words based on my thought. One day when I was looking at the news, I found a news article that caught my attention, which is about student activism in Hong Kong. Many of you have already heard about it, so I would like to talk about the one person who is a former member of the standing committee, Agnes Cho Ting. She is a Hong Kong politician and social activist. She was arrested on suspicion of violation of the Hong Kong national security law. This event reminds me of the public order and police law in the Taisho period. Both situations have similar points in which the government cracks down on freedom. Compared to that, all of us here have a freedom of thought and speech. However, there is a big problem in Japan. It is that the younger generation has no interest in not only politics, but also our society. We should focus on not only major issues, but also minor ones too. Here are some examples of minor issues. Racial discrimination, sexual minorities such as LGBTQ+, and foreigners in Japan. The majority people do not recognize their privileges. Here are some privileges that majority have. To be a male, to be healthy, to be able to go to university for granted. Those things might normally go unnoticed. That's especially why I want the younger generation to think seriously about our society. My friends, let's talk about our future together. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Hinako. I could understand your strong feeling and confidence. And I know political problem is very hard for us, especially young people. But you have to think about this problem because it is very important for our future. Thank you very much. Okay, next, I would like to introduce evaluator for post-speech, Para.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mizuki. Hello, everyone. I am Para. I will be evaluating Hidenori's speech. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next, I will introduce today's second speaker, Hidenori. Are you ready?
Yeah. Hello everyone, I am Hidenori. Today I will talk about how can you give better advice. To give advice is something that everyone explains at least once. For example, when a friend or a classmate asks what to do this task, when a junior asked me what to do in club activity, and when going out to society and teaching work to person work with and juniors. There are many occasions when you give advice to someone like this, but if you give advice the wrong way, it will be communicated well to the other person. So I have few things to keep in mind when giving advice. The first is how to give advice in easy to understand manner. I belong to lacrosse club. Lacrosse is fast to contact sports. So junior asked seminar how to pass well. Seminar gave advice using difficult words like those learned in physics. If you give advice using words like this, you will not be able to convey what you want to convey to the other person. So I think it's important to keep it simple when giving advice. In order to summarize the advice constantly, I think it is good to decide the important thing in what you want to convey and connect it each one. However, you should be careful because it will be strange just to contact important thing. The second is to understand the behavior and thoughts of the other person. When I was a high school student, when I said I want to go to university to my mother, then my mother said she couldn't say anything unless I told her why I want to go to university. In this way, if you not understand to the other person's thoughts, you may not be able to give advice. The reason why I can't give advice if I understand the other person's thoughts is that it is not good to impose my thoughts on the other person without understanding the other person. So when someone asks for advice, you should ask them how they think and so they think and act. By understand the other person's thoughts and acts, you can add something they don't understand and correct difference when giving advice. The third is if you give advice, it's not over. When someone asks for advice, many people think that if they give advice at that time, it's over. However, those who are thinking advice do not always work with the advice they have had. Therefore, it is better to check whether they can understand the advice probably even after giving advice. And if you not give advice, not consultation again. But if you give advice every day, they will not think for themselves. So I think it's better to give advice about once every 2 months. At this time, it is good idea to check how well they understand the previous advice. In conclusion, better advice can be given by considering three things when giving advice. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Denori. I could sympathize with your speeches because when we give advice for someone, sometimes you have to say negative point, but it is very important for each other. And next week I will be evaluator, so I will use your 3 points to my my load. Thank you very much, Yunori. And next, can I ask Taima Meguri to report the time for the prepared speeches?
Okay. Hinako speech was 4 minutes 35 seconds, and Hidenori speech was 5 minutes 45 seconds.
Thank you, Meguri. Now it is time for the evaluator speeches. And could you ask Taima Meguri to yellow?
Okay. The qualified time for evaluator speech is 1 minute to 2.5 minutes. After 1 minute, I raised this green card, and after 2 minutes, I raised this red card. When I raise this red card, you have to finish your speech within 30 seconds.
Thank you, Meguri. Okay, next, I will introduce the first evaluator, Ayumi.
Okay, let's start. Firstly, her speech was very powerful. I really understood her that she wanted to tell us. Using gestures and her emotions, those things made me better her speech. But she forgot some sentence, and time is a little short, so you can speak more slowly. But her speech is very good, and her speech content is relating to us. Politics is very difficult, and it is we have not interested with, but we need to think. Uh, we need to think for ourselves in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Ayumi. Okay, next, second evaluator, Para, please.
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Mizuki. Excellent job, Hidenori. I know you are getting better every day. Thank you for giving us 3 ideas to give advice. Yes, there are people who try to give advice, but most of them don't know how to give a better advice. So your speech was attention grabbing, and I personally learned a lot from your speech. I have some recommendation to make your great speech a greater speech. First of all, you should have used more gestures because it makes the speech understandable. You used gestures, but I think those were not enough. So please use more gestures next time. And secondly, I noticed you were a little nervous. So I think you should have confidence on yourself. I recommend you to practice your speech a few more times, and it will give you more confidence. And when you have confidence, you can do anything. However, your speech was well organized, and the content of your speech was awesome. Also, your voice was clear to understand. Thank you for sharing these amazing ideas, and keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you, Para. Okay, next. Can I ask Taima Meguri to report the timer for the evaluated speeches?
Ayumi's speech was 1 minute 5 seconds, and Para speech was 1 minute 42 seconds.
Thank you, Meguri. Next, I'd like to ask General Evaluator Rudoro Sensei to report over our evaluations.
Yes, thank you very much, Toastmaster. My evaluations are going to be brief. First of all, the meeting started on time, which is always good for a meeting. The Toastmaster of the day took control of the meeting when she was introduced and did a good job keeping the meeting on time. Introducing the speakers and the evaluators was done well. I liked the comments at the end of each speech. It indicated that the Toastmaster was listening carefully and gave personal reflection on how the speech affected her. That's a good idea. One thing that I would suggest to the Toastmaster is to perhaps just say 1 or 2 words or sentences about the speaker and maybe the topic of the speech, just to give the audience a general idea on what to expect when the speaker begins speaking, sort of as a warm-up. But it was well done, Toastmaster. The evaluators each did a good job. They used the sandwich approach. They first of all praised, then they gave a weak point that they thought the speaker could improve, and they also explained how to improve, which is always a good way to evaluate. They used enough time. Perhaps maybe they could have spent a little more time, especially the first evaluator. I think she spoke for a minute. You have an entire 2 minutes. Take advantage of that time to give maybe a little more in-depth analysis of the presentation, the speech. One thing that I noticed at the end was that there was a positive comment made, but one thing that you may think about doing is to give some more praise. You have this nice sandwich approach. Put the sandwich on a plate of praise. Encourage the speaker to use what you've mentioned to improve their next presentation, their next speech. Give the speaker some encouragement to continue. We all grow slowly, but that's the way we learn. Let's see, they did a good job. I want to thank you all for your efforts. I return control back to the Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Rudoro Sensei. Today's meeting was, I think, very good because I can learn a lot of things from this meeting, and I can continue to change more better and better. So I could spend very good time. Thank you very much. And now I would like to give the control back to the President Margaret.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Yes, and as it's been said by a few of you, that this session has gone smoother. I felt that everyone was on task, and took responsibility for their role and fulfilled their role, was very explained in a very clear way. I thought the evaluators did a great job of explaining the prepared speakers, how they prepared them and their results. Thank you very much, Sensei Ludlow Sensei, for your advice about giving our students advice about how to evaluate and using the sandwich approach, but also praising. And I thought that's something that we should also add to that role. Thank you very much for that. And as far as the prepared speakers, the topics were very interesting. Again, with Hinako, we have, she talked about the freedom of speech and thoughts and how young people in younger generation now are not really interested, but they should be. And also Hidenori talked about giving advice and 3 examples of how to give advice. And those are very good examples that we should use. So, and it's a good skill to have. So thank you so much, everybody, for meeting session number 5. And we will see you next week for number 6, our final session. So our meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.